Love, Light, and Black Power family? It's Goddess Sayana, and I wanted to touch on a touchy subject really quickly. I didn't even want to be on here long. But I want to be real. Black women need black men more than we need our ego. It's true. The ego that we have that says that I want one man to myself when we know that we greatly outnumber our men. We need our men. And, you know, there's a lot of women out here on the independent spiel, and don't get it fucked up. I still suffer from independent ism sometimes, you know. But the reality is we need our men more than we need our egos about it. You know, we can get all emotional about it and da-da-da, but at the end of the day, our kids need both a man and a woman in the household, and that if that means more women than men, great. Than a man, than the one man, then that's great. But the reality is, like, a lot of us are putting our egos before the black family, and that goes both ways. But I'm talking to sisters right now. A lot of times we put our egos before the black family, and a lot of times we let go of situations that might have been great for us because we were being emotional and not necessarily because it was the best for our family or the best for our children. And that's not to say that we should stay with people that are abusive or in toxic relationships. But if you know someone is, let's say, you know, a brother is a good man and he cheats on you, not to say that a cheating man is a good man, but a good man can fuck up and cheat, and you drop his ass because of that, then my sister, I'm telling you, I don't think that was the best choice. Not if he was a good man to you. You know, we already greatly outnumber our men. It's the reality. Some of us like to allow our mouths to run the fuck off, and it's a reality that we do need to watch our mouths. You know, we need to speak more respectfully to our men. We've been taught to be very disrespectful to our men, but we have to recognize that and unprogram ourselves. It's not that we are, you know, demons for this, that we are awful people for this, but we have to recognize that society has programmed us to be anti-black men, almost anti-black families, by way of being anti-black men. And there's a lot of ways and circumstances and situations where sometimes we purposely belittle a man, or we purposely emasculate a man just to feel more powerful and dominant in that moment, when the reality is we don't need to do these things. But we learned these things from our slave masters, who were always intimidated by our black men and always finding ways to just cut jabs and belittle and emasculate the black man, especially in front of us. So we learned these ways from our evil slave masters. But it's time for us to recognize that we are still acting on a programming that is long past overdue. It's time for us to recognize the way that femininity is power, and that's not feminism, but femininity. Being feminine, stepping in, you know, being soft, like, that doesn't make you weak. In fact, that's our power. Our power is our softness, our nurturing abilities, our ability to maintain a home, to raise our children, you know, our ability to feed the family and keep the health in order, you know, just by way of what we cook our family. And so there's power in the roles that we deem female roles, and then just like for men, there's power in the male role. But there is a responsibility and obligation to be divine feminine if you're a woman, so that we can help raise the frequency of our families. You know, attract more high frequency men into our lives so we can procreate with high frequency energy and create children that are high frequency, so that they can not have to deal with oppression, or so that they can be up to the challenge of really dealing with oppression, because we seem to be not the ones that will go ahead and push that through. I don't know, but the reality is there, and it doesn't mean that a woman is less worthy if she deals with a man who also deals with a woman. It makes her realistic, because so many of us have dealt with a man that was dealing with another woman behind our backs. But why wouldn't you want to get to know the other woman? And I'm not talking about these men that are miscellaneous with their dicks. I'm talking about the men that have full-blown relationships with more than one woman, you know, that are able to handle the responsibilities. Sisters, I know a lot of you are going to say, well, if they don't have polygamy, I'm not playing it. Then stop playing polygamy with men who don't have polygamy, if that's not something that you're willing to deal with. If you're going to deal with polygamy, I think you should deal with a man that's a better man than the man that you would be monogamous with, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, I've always said polygyny is not for the weak man. We should really only be seeking a certain type of man to procreate with, so that we can have stronger men. You know, like men are going to create great men are going to create great men. You know, they're going to create great sons. So I think it's just being realistic about it. You know, I think there's a lot of women who deal with men, powerful men indeed, that deal with other women and don't have a problem.